Now, when we think about Porsches, we think of powerful thoroughbred performance cars. Yet in early 2000, Porsche introduced the Cayenne, an SUV, and it became a bestseller. Now they're producing cars powered by batteries. So this is it, the Porsche Taycan. Now the statistics behind this car are exceptional by anybody's standards. We've got a 0 to 60 time of 2.8 seconds. That's just 1 second slower than a Formula One car. It's got a top speed of 161 miles an hour. A powerful car has, I would say, about 400 Newton meters of torque. This car in standard drive is over 700 Newton meters of torque, and on boost over 1,000. This car is super special, engine or no engine, it's really a Porsche. But get this, 99.9% of the buyers of this car will never go anywhere near those statistics. So come and join me for a day in the life of the Porsche Taycan. First acquaintance with the Porsche Taycan. Notice the Porsche design sunglasses, total coincidence, I assure you. Right, so I've got in this car and everything seems lit up and ready to go. So I guess there's nothing to do. Like it's not moving. There's nothing obvious. As I said, I've never been in here before, but for an electric car, it's quite important for it to be user-friendly, so I don't want anybody to tell me. Oh, here we go. There's a D. Oh, yep, little lever, it's gone into drive, I'm off. It's just weird being behind the wheel of a Porsche and no sound, no engine, apart from tyre roar. You can sense the car's really fast. It really feels like a Porsche. And with any Porsche, you've got a very sound relationship with the road. In other words, you can feel almost every undulation, but not too much, just enough to say, right, the chassis is communicating with you. And also, this thing is talking to me. I have got no idea why. I don't want voice control, so voice control's off. And I realise what I did now. My finger caught a button here, which allows me to talk to it, and it's asking me questions, but I don't want to talk to it, I want to talk to you. So we're on a 30-mile-an-hour road, and I'm in this totally usable and comfortable Porsche. Get it? Usable and comfortable. It really does feel good. A typical day in a car like this won't be a drag race, it won't be high-speed circuit driving, it'll be what I'm doing now. Because this would be a typical school run or a run down to the village. The speed limit's 20 miles an hour. And yet, what the mark of a good car is feeling good at any speed. Actually, that was quite good, turning the roundabout there. It was quite a tight roundabout and it had a really good turning circle. That kind of thing matters when you're driving through little villages and towns. And I actually would have bought this car as a day-to-day usable car. Real performance for me, as an all-round daily, is how it performs also in these conditions. And this is where I suppose you're smiling, because you've got the best of both worlds. You've got like crazy performance if you want it, but then you couldn't be more sort of environmentally friendly than I am at the moment. I'm not actually using any fuel whatsoever. There are no emissions coming from this car. I'm not making any noise, so I'm not disturbing anybody. This is where my 150 grand kind of makes sense, because I can be just as badass as anybody else on the road if I want to be, but at the same time I can be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes as well. So talking about Porsche, obviously we're not just talking about performance, it's a quality product. Just amazing build integrity and massively high quality value. We're out of a village now. This is an opportunity for me to experiment a little bit. So I'm going to put it into sport mode. I'm only doing 37 now, so I'm going to see if I can get up to 60 and how quickly. Just please bear with me. But oh, Jesus Christ. Whoa, whoa. Wow. There you are. Now, there's not one person on earth who could then say to me, this is not a Porsche when it comes to performance, because it is. And I think what we've got to really accept is that times are moving on, and a lot of enthusiasts like me, we love the performance we've become accustomed to with a combustion engine. But when something has the kind of performance that this does, and it does it in a new way, which is the electric way, you've got to take your hat off and say, you know what, they've done this and they've done it pretty well. So the issue, I think, for the enthusiast, and me included, is that we've got to learn to appreciate these cars for what they are. We've got to probably also relearn how to drive them according to what the technology is telling us works best, and not to what we remember from the days we were using heeling and towing and engine braking and everything else. Work with the technology, develop the skill, and enjoy the process. The Taycan is a car that is way ahead of its time. It has active rear steering to maximize its handling capability and simply massive carbon ceramic disc brakes, and needs them. Let's just reflect a little bit on the value. This car starts at around 80,000, but the top of the range, which is the Turbo S, the one we're driving, fetch you back about maybe around 150,000. 150,000 pounds is a lot of money, but this is a hell of a lot of car. And the performance, as I said, is so hyper, you're definitely not missing out on anything there. How does it compare to the top of the range Tesla Model S, the performance version? It's also got stonking performance statistics, but I've driven one, and quite frankly, it's very, very different to this car. If you put me blindfolded in a Tesla or in this car, whichever one, and you said to me, tell me which is the Taycan, blindfolded, I would know the Taycan straight away. And the Taycan would be the car I go for, simply because you've got that Porsche DNA working through the car. That is the beautiful feel to the steering, the way the chassis engages with the road and the way it talks to you, the way Porsche understand how to do precision work in a performance car, maybe like no other. And that all comes out in the DNA of this car, and it's really why I like it. You just got to remember to charge it. Providing you have a 7.4 kilowatt charge point at home, it'll take about 11 hours to full charge, but mostly an overnight top-up is all that's required. A special Porsche supercharger achieves the same in about 28 minutes. Once fully charged, you're good for an average 254 miles. You'll just need to keep reminding yourself that this car is all electric. But that doesn't take away the drivability of it. It doesn't take away the Porsche-ness of it. It's still all there. But when you really get involved in the exciting bit of driving, the driving that you really bought it for, then you can forget all about the technology and concentrate on the driving experience. Oh my God, I've just really relished this electric Porsche. But then I have a feeling that anybody who buys this car will probably have a petrol engine 911 in the garage too. That's the wise thing to do. The 911 is a legend, and it's the thing we always remember Porsche by. So let's just take this car as an added medal. And I would say in the Taycan, you get the best of both worlds.